Yo, what up guys, it's Brock and I'm back today with another video, and as you may have seen, I bought my dream camera. But before I reveal what the camera is, I want to talk about my last video that I uploaded on the channel, which was the R6 paired with the Sirui 50mm anamorphic lens. And honestly, I was shocked. I took this thing on a trip to Florida with my family and I shot this kind of short film thing, you know, it's just some random B-roll around where we were staying, and I was super impressed. Now this lens, I shot everything handheld with IBIS on. I know the wobble and the IBIS wobble is a question a lot of people have with these anamorphics, and yeah, it is kind of an issue sometimes, but it's not as widespread and it is big of a deal as some people have made it out to be online. I think if you have steady hands and you're good shooting handheld, you're not gonna have a ton of issues. But if you do get any weird rolls with the camera, then you're gonna notice the wobble at the edge of the frame. So that's something to keep in mind. But overall, I was super impressed with the look of this lens. I love the highlight roll off. Like, I love all these things paired with the R6. I was very surprised at what I was able to capture with such an affordable setup when you compare it to, you know, Hollywood's version of anamorphic. Like, this is by far a budget setup. So I was very impressed with the results, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. So if you didn't watch the full video with the anamorphic, go check it out. I'm gonna put a card on screen right now. I'll also link it in the description. So go check that out, come back and let me know your thoughts on the Sirui 50mm anamorphic. So now let's talk about my new camera and why I think it is my dream camera, minus one thing. So I ended up picking up the Canon C70, and let me explain to you why this is the perfect camera for me. So I've been picking up some more high-end production work lately, which means that I needed something that has features and abilities that the R6 and other mirrorless cameras just can't do. The C70 has things like built-in ND filters, an entire audio interface with mini XLR, it has full-size HDMI, it does 4K 120, it does 4K RAW at 60 frames a second, it has all these things that will future-proof all of my projects, and I really am excited. And the biggest reason why I absolutely love this camera, and it is the biggest upgrade from something like an R6, is one thing, and that is dynamic range. So after using this thing for about a week, the absolute biggest thing that I noticed right away is the dynamic range. I mean, it's unbelievable compared to an R6 or something like it. It's just the next level, and it makes shooting in difficult scenarios so much better. Your highlight recovery is so much better, your shadows are better, everything about it is just cleaner and has a wider dynamic range to capture a more cinematic and a more lifelike image. A lot of times with these smaller mirrorless cameras like the R6 or even the R5 or like a Sony A7 line, you end up fighting the camera sometimes when it comes to difficult lighting situations, whether you're inside and you have windows behind your subject that are just completely blown out if you have the subject lit properly, or your subject's underexposed if you get the windows exposed right, then you end up having to fix that in post. Stuff like this will eliminate a lot of those issues. Is it perfect? No. Are these completely gone? Absolutely not. But it makes the recovery of that, and you don't have to push the image as hard to get it usable later in post. Now you're probably wondering why you don't see footage right now. Is because I want to do a real in-depth review of this camera, but I want it to be something that you guys are actually interested in and that you want to see from it. So let me know, because there's a ton of videos about the C70 on the internet. There's a ton of comparisons already, but if you guys want to see a comparison against something like the R6 or even something like the C200, which is like right here behind me, I could totally do that, but I want to hear from you. So expect a full C70 in-depth dive very soon with a bunch of test footage, a bunch of comparison footage. So let me know in the comments what you guys want to know about this camera and what you want to see from it, so I can make that video very soon. I think the reason I'm so excited about this camera is because it just fits my workflow and my filmmaking style. I'm very run and gun. I shoot a ton of handheld footage. I love the ergonomics of it. I have huge hands, so I love how chunky the grip is on the side. Pair it with another handle on the other side and you're good to go. So you can strip it down really small, or you can build it out like a full V-mount rig like I have here. So there's plenty of options when it comes to using this camera, and I love the versatility of it and how you can run it very minimal or kit it out to a full production rig if you need to run all day with V-mounts and all those different things and rails and matte boxes and all those good stuff. So it's an amazingly versatile camera, and I think that's why it's so perfect for me, because every job I shoot is different. Every job calls for different things. So having such a versatile camera is gonna make my life so much easier. So if this camera was full frame, it probably would be the perfect camera for me, but it's still amazing and I absolutely love it. And I would love to know what your dream camera is. Do you have a dream camera rig that you want to be able to do what you want to do? Because like one of my dream projects is to shoot a documentary, and I would love one day to get a documentary on Netflix. And this is a Netflix approved camera, at least currently. And that's really cool to me, knowing that I could make something today that could end up on Netflix. That's just a cool thing to think about. So not that that's gonna happen anytime soon, but to know that I have the camera that could do that is really cool to me. So let me know in the comments what your dream camera is. What is your dream rig? I would love to hear from you. And let me know what you thought about the Sirui Anamorphic Lens as well. Talk to me in the comments. I'll be there. I'll be replying to you guys. So make sure that you let me know your thoughts. That's all I got for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.